Let's get to the other big game, Steve.
You mean the other part of Tampa Bay or
Of the divorce, the
of
Brady Belichick divorce.
Okay, all right, let's talk about that.
Boy, I'm telling you, the Patriots, I'm stunned by the brilliance of Bill Belichick, and I shouldn't be. He's already proven to everybody that Bill Belichick is the smartest football man on the planet. He's already proven that. I shouldn't be surprised, and yet I am, because losing Brady was such a big blow to this. It was such a big setback to this squad. Them going out and signing Cam Newton, brilliant. Magnificent. What a terrific signing. And I think maybe because they signed him so late, there wasn't more made of it. And the fact that they didn't really have a big stable of receivers outside of Edelman. I think he kind of flew under the radar going to New England. This is a former MVP working under Bill Belichick, and he was brilliant. Cam Newton was just outstanding. Anybody who tells you that Bill Belichick is not the smartest football mind on the planet is what I call a Patriot hater. Okay? They are a Patriot hater. They just don't give him the respect he deserves. It's the only way that people cannot agree with that.
Is it my turn yet?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Right ahead.
Is it my turn yet? Bill Belichick, the greatest coach ever to grace a football field. That's why he spies on other teams. The greatest football coach. That's why there's things like Deflategate. That's why there's all these controversies with the Patriots. But that may or may not be true. You don't really know that.
That's true.
And you don't really know that. So what I'm going to say is this. All right, first off, I think you're a prisoner of the moment with this Patriot thing. And the only reason I'm going to say that is Cam Newton ran wild against the Dolphins. I mean, how many rushes did he have? 15 rushes, 16 rushes, I think. And that ain't going to work. I mean, Cam Newton.
What do you mean it's not going to work?
It's not going to work. Cam Newton has a history of injuries.
Did it? Okay, who won the game?
He's got a history of injuries.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Why don't we worry about that?
This guy to run all season long like that. He's not young like Lamar Jackson.
They have to. They don't really have a choice.
Okay,
Again,
and
they don't have the biggest stable of receivers. As long as he is erect and upright, and he isn't severely injured, that's what they're going to do.
All right. Well,
this is the new Patriots, whether you like it or not. That's the way they look. That's the way they play.
And I'm not going to dispute that. What I am going to say is this on top of this Cam Newton running the ball thing. I think the Patriots did what they needed to do. And this is one thing I will give Bill Belichick credit for. Although a lot of people will think he's a very arrogant person, I'm going to say he's not. This is a guy who wants to win football games. And I'm going to tell you how he wins football games. He actually looks at the other team and says, they do this bad. We are going to do this to get them. He exploits their weaknesses. That's what he does. Other coaches are like, no, we don't think about what they do bad. We think about what we want to do and what we do good, and we're going to stick with that plan. And when you can exploit the team's weaknesses versus try to cater to your strengths, because sometimes you can't throw the ball 50 times a game. Sometimes you got to run the ball. Sometimes you got to do this. Sometimes it's screens. Sometimes you have to. And Bill Belichick is a master at doing that. That's why the Patriots will win a lot of games this year. But I will tell you, if Cam Newton rushes for 15 rushes, 16 rushes, 14 rushes every game, this will not last for them.
Who cares about every game? It's one game, and they did what they needed to do to win.
And you're right. They did do that. But I will say this about the Miami Dolphins. This game was not out of reach. When you go back and look at this Dolphin game, I'm going to tell you right now, they kept the Dolphins hanging around and hanging around and hanging around, and they didn't put them away till the very end of the game. They really didn't.
They were behind the whole time. The thing is, when I think of Bill Belichick, this is a guy who comes in with a game plan and imposes his will on the other team.
I just said that.
Then why do you think this won't work the whole season?
Because if they can't do 14 rushes, 15 rushes from Cam Newton.
All right, look, a couple of years ago, the last time they won the Super Bowl, when the Patriots most recently won, they were throwing the ball all over the place the whole season. What did they do when they got to the Super Bowl? They didn't do that.
No, they didn't.
They did the exact opposite. They were ground and pound in that game. It completely set the defense coordinator, and the coaching staff of the other team, completely set them on their ear. They didn't know what hit them. It was the last thing they would have expected. Belichick this is what he says when he steps onto the football field. This is how the game will go today. I will set the game flow. I will set the tempo, and the other team will have to follow suit. And 9 out of 10 times, they do. They eat it. They eat it right out of his hand, Steve. They lick it right out of Belichick's hand. He says, this is how the game's going to go. And they say, oh, it's going to be that kind of game because Bill Belichick is going to do this. And they just do. They lick it right out of his hand.
Well, I think you're right, but only in the second half because I think Bill Belichick is great at making adjustments. I think he goes out and he feels the other team out in the first half. He does the best that he can with the play calling and the defensive calling. But in the second half, once he realizes what the other team is going to do, then he locks them in. And it's all about preparation. But nevertheless, Cam Newton did look good. I will give it up to him. I'm rooting for Cam this season. I hope that he has a great season. The Dolphins, there's a lot of promise left for them. Fitzpatrick throws a bunch of picks. Maybe they don't
he
lose
didn't
this
look
game.
good. He didn't look good.
Maybe they don't lose this game. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the Dolphins and the wonderful debut of Cam Newton and the Patriots.